Everybody's going crazy over these Bitcoin Treasury announcements. The media talks about them all day long. Twitter treats it as the holy grail. And retail? Retail dives into these things headfirst blind as usual. Well, let me give you my opinion. All these Bitcoin Treasury companies are nothing more than the shitcoins of this cycle. It's the same game, different costume. Last cycle, it was tokens solving world hunger. Now, it's companies that you've never heard of before, all of a sudden stacking sats. How many times do we have to see this movie again? Last time, they gave us a token and said, here's our white paper. Now they're saying, we're adopting Bitcoin. Look at us. We're the cool folks. We're aligned with the future. But if you look closer, do these companies really understand Bitcoin? Are they putting it on their balance sheet because all of a sudden they believe in decentralization, self-sovereignty, and everything that sound money stands for? Or they simply put it as a cheap signal to pump their own stock on unknowing retail? A lot of these folks use Bitcoin as a buzzword. It's their new marketing, go-to word. Anything to say, anything to do to align themselves with that big orange way of life, they will do it, even though they don't believe a single word about it or don't care about it for a single second. This is nothing more than a sales ploy to lure unknowing retail to buy their stock so that they can dump it on them once their bags are filled. It's the same playbook, guys, over and over again. You don't need these companies. You don't need their stock. You don't need to buy into these lies and all this headache. Bitcoin was created outside the system. In fact, it was created to replace it entirely. And you have a direct connection to Bitcoin. If you buy a share of a company that's putting Bitcoin on its balance sheet, you don't own any Bitcoin. All you own is that worthless stock. And if you sell it, and if you make a profit, you're still bound to the same regulatory headaches that come along with it. The taxes, the questions, all of that stuff you still have to deal with. Whereas if you buy Bitcoin, withdraw it to your own self-custody, you're done. You don't need a proxy to go from point A to point B. The entire Bitcoin revolution is self-custody. There's no mention in the white paper, not a single letter, that says you need the approval or the involvement of any third-party custodian or institution or government in order to adopt Bitcoin. The path between you and sovereignty is as short as it comes. You buy Bitcoin and you withdraw it to self-custody. All that's required is learning a few steps. Don't be a victim of this hype. Bitcoin treasuries, they can do whatever they want. I mean, Bitcoin is for anyone. The good, the bad, the scammers, the retards. It's for everyone. Be on the right side of history. The playbook to winning is very easy. You buy Bitcoin, you withdraw it to your self-custody. That's it. So stop getting excited every time you hear about a company who's buying or claiming to be buying Bitcoin or putting it on its balance sheet. Who cares? When the music stops, it's going to be very easy to find out who's telling the truth and who's not. The real revolution is happening quietly behind the scenes, one pleb at a time in full self-custody, because as we all know, there is no second best. So buy your Bitcoin, learn the scales, hold it in self-custody, become a true sovereign individual, and watch how quickly your life changes for the better. Thank you.